Hey everyone. I don't even know what today's date is. I think it's the 11th. And coming to you today because I haven't been online on a Facebook Live since February 21st. And I just wanted to let you know there's been a lot of changes in my life. And I've been walking through a lot of grief and changing things up. I mean, I walked away from a relationship that we're actually still friends and we still do business together, but the relationship wasn't something that was working. And also moved out of the area, just a little north right now. But this is a time in my life where I am not tied down anymore. And I've been asking for this for a while. And now I'm walking through a lot of healing, a lot of grief. And I don't even know how to talk about this because it's been so long since all this has happened. Good things are coming. I started a blog, which I think I posted in the description of the group. So you can kind of get an idea of my journey. I've been consistent with it for the last 33 or 34 days. I'm just processing and healing and letting all this stuff out. And I learned something I wanted to share. Like this group, I went through something called parental alienation, and there are some people in this group who have been through that, but that's not what this group's about. It's about walking through any type of grief. And in parental alienation, where we lose our children to, I generally say, another parent who tends to be narcissistic and gaslights, and it's a really horrible situation where they lie to or they don't tell the whole truth to the children. And the parent that is the other parent who loves their child doesn't get to see them. And in my situation, it lasted 20 years. So I did a lot of healing around that. And as each step went by throughout my life and my journey of healing, I just let a lot of stuff go, literally. In fact, this past weekend, I went for a visit down to my old house and cleared out a bunch of stuff and left furniture, and I have like not that many boxes left, so I'm really minimizing everything. So that's how many changes have gone on. But anyway, so as I go through this, I want to share, now that I'm in a space where I want to share kind of little things here and there of how I'm going through the grief, because it's been so incredibly helpful. And one thing I learned last week was something that we grieve besides, I've talked about this, death is an obvious grief. Then there's the loss of something, our children who, in the parental alienation world, who we don't see, but they're still alive, we still grieve them. So I'm grateful that as my children are getting older, they are reaching out and connecting with me more. But I know what it feels like when they don't. And so it's not an easy journey, but what I can say is if you make the decision to walk through this journey, you can do this. Other types of grief, obviously, for those of us who, a lot of us, is divorce, and or some kind of a tragedy, or the one I keep coming back to, the one that I'm trying to get to is a change of pattern. So grieving something that we're used to doing, like when I moved away from the house that I was living in, it's like we had this pattern, and I lived in this house, and I loved this house, and it was and I loved a lot of things, but it just wasn't working. And so when I left and I moved into the new location that I'm in, I had to change my patterns because where I live isn't set up to do it the same way. And obviously that happens in any types of things where you move away from something that you're used to doing the same way over and over and over again. So changing the pattern was, oh my gosh, it was like I cried the first 2 weeks that I was here. I was like, constantly crying and just letting go and letting go, and it hurt. It really hurt. And but it made me feel like, as I did it, this heaviness was released. And I'm so grateful that grief exists, that as I walk through it and learn how it works on my own, and learn how to do it with, I've learned how to do it with a child, I've learned how to do it with other people, with myself especially, that I have the chance to be here and help other people go through it in such a way where it's healing, and not more anxiety producing, or more anger producing, or any of that stuff. It becomes part of your healing process. Like I've said, you carry the grief with you as you heal, because it's never going to go away. It's just there where you're like, wow, that's who I am. That's part of my life. I get to walk with it now. So anyway, if you've been here for a while, excuse me, I apologize for not being on here, but I had to do my own grieving. And if you just joined, welcome to the group. And I've got some things in the works. I've got a coach that I'm working with to help me walk through these things, so I can get these things out to you. I'm not going to go into what they are yet, because I'm still kind of, figuring them out in my head. But I want to be able to give you access to things that will help you walk through this. And yeah, so if you have anything you want to say, just let me know. Or if you have any suggestions of something you might want to see, or that you'd like, that you think would help, I'm open to anything at this point, because this is the intention of this group, is to just heal our way through and learn how to grieve in a way that helps ourselves, helps others, and our children. So again, thank you for being here, and have a beautiful rest of the day wherever you are. Bye-bye.